Good morning, this is your math sensei, Mr. Spensei, and this is going to be the first video on the first test review. Now, I'm going to break this test review into three parts based on the problem type, and we'll go from there. All right, it says simplify problems 1 through 4. Simplify, when it says simplify, we're not actually solving for a numerical answer. We're going to combine like terms and just do distributive property. So combine and do distributive property. Well, the first thing says find the area of a rectangle. Well, there's an assumption there. There's an assumption that you know that the area of a rectangle is area equals length times width. So in this case, I'm going to need to multiply these things. So I have -7. And remember, parentheses means multiply. So a lot of times it's best to just start off with parentheses. And, oh, I got parentheses. That means I have to distribute. So I'm going to have to distribute this -7 across. So this is going to be 21. 7 times 3 is 21. A negative times a negative is a positive. So 21a squared. 7 times 2 is 14. So negative 14bc. And 7 times, and this is like having it's not shown, but this is like having a 1. So -7 times 1 is 7. We have 7d squared, but a negative times a negative is a positive. So my answer is 21a squared minus 14bc plus, that's not much of a plus sign, 7d squared. All right. Okay, the next one, perimeter. Find the perimeter of the following rectangle. Well, perimeter is add up all the sides. Now, there's a couple ways to do this, but I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to put a 4z squared minus 2x minus 3xz plus 5. And I also have over here on this one a negative 5z squared minus xz minus 3y squared minus 8. All right, so I need to add up all of these. So this plus this plus this plus this. So here we go. I'm going to start off with the 4z squareds. So I'm going to end up with, and by the way, this is going to take a lot of room. I'm going to have 4z squared minus 2x minus 3xz plus 5. I'm also going to have another one of those. So I'm going to have a 4z squared minus 2x minus 3xz plus 5. I'm also going to have a plus, or excuse me, not a plus. Yeah, we're adding up all the sides. So then plus a negative 5z squared minus xz minus 3y squared minus 8. And remember, perimeter means add up all the sides. So all these, everything in parentheses needs to have a plus sign in front of it because perimeters add up all the sides. So then plus another negative 5z squared minus xz minus 3y squared minus 8. Now, this is a horribly ugly problem. It really is. So what's 4z squared plus 4z squared? Well, that's 8z squared, Mr. Spencer, and that's great. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. 8z squared minus 2x and minus 2x becomes 2 plus 2 is 4. So this is minus 4x. This becomes a minus 6xz, negative 3 minus 3, and 5 plus 5 is 10. All right, we'll keep that in parentheses. Plus, well, what does this become? What's negative 5 and negative 5? Well, that's negative 10z squared. This becomes, and by the way, there's not a 1 here, but there is. We have to pretend like there is. So minus 2xz minus 6y squared minus 16. Don't like it when the lights go off. All right, hold on just a second. All right. So at this point, I can combine these. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up with what I have because I can combine the 8z squared and the negative 10z squared. Well, that gives me negative 2z squared, and those go away. They've been combined. I don't have anything to combine with this 4x, so I can just write it down, minus 4x, and cross it off. But then I have a negative 6xz and a negative 2xz. Negative 6 and negative 2 gives me negative 8. Signs are the same. Add the number and keep the sign. I have a 6y squared, and I don't have any. Oh, by the way, I should cross this out. I have a 6y squared. I have nothing to combine with that, so I can just write it down, minus 6y squared. And I have a plus 10 and a minus 16, so that is a negative 6. I don't think that answer is going to fit in this box, but I'll try. So negative 2z squared minus 4x minus 8xz minus 6y squared minus 6. Boy, I really had to squinch to get that in there. That might be a little bit difficult. Okay, so we did the perimeter. Next thing, we're still simplifying. All right. Well, in simplifying, I see I have parentheses, so I'm going to have to distribute. And so negative 3 times 2 gives me 6. And a negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 4 is 12. But a negative times a positive is a negative. And you can check that with the Desmos. Minus 5r minus 4. Well, now I need to combine like terms. Well, I can combine the 6r and the minus 5r, and that gives me 1r. And then I have negative 12 and negative 4, and those combine. So negative 12 and negative 4 gives me negative 16. So I end up with r minus 16 or 1r minus 16. All right. The next problem, we have parentheses, but up here we don't need it, so we just copy it down. 8x squared minus 6x plus 10. But here I need to distribute that negative. Be careful, that negative is going to change the signs of everything. So this becomes negative 3x squared plus 7x plus 4. All right. We distributed. Now we're going to combine like terms. Well, I can combine the 8x squared and the minus 3x squared, and that gives me 5x squared, because 8 minus 3 is 5, so this goes away. Then I have a negative 6x plus 7x, so that becomes a plus 1x, so that goes away. Now I have a plus 10 and a plus 4, and that becomes 14. Now you could write your answer like this, or 5x squared plus x plus 14, and that's the way I'm going to record it. So my answer over here is 5x squared plus x plus 14. All right, that's the answers to for problems 1 through 4. The next video will cover problems 5 through 9. Problems 5 through 9. All right, look forward to seeing you on the next one, and thanks for watching.